We're builders, we're healers, we're folks who care about one another. And it's just so important that we begin the dialogue in many ways with what is Two-Spirit? How do Two-Spirit people fit into Canadian society? Or even a better question, why do we identify as Two-Spirit?
He's breaking new ground for 2S LGBTQ plus Canadians as the first two-spirited person elected to the House of Commons. Blake Desjarlais is part of a record year with 7 queer MPs elected to the lower house. Desjarlais is already getting used to answering questions about his identity. He says that it's a complex identity, not just restricted to orientation or gender, but centering around his Indigenous identity.
So we have a Cree word for it actually called Testawinawak. Testawinawak means the in-between people, the people who are not male, the people who are not female, people who are often more diverse than that. In many Indigenous cultures, including my culture, there's a diversity of genders.
Desjarlais says he's excited to represent Edmonton Griesbach in the House, keen to get started on policy that could make real change. In particular, he wants to see the ban on blood donations from men who have sex with men lifted and a ban on conversion therapy. Both came before the previous parliament. Both failed to pass before the election was called.
My concern is time. You know, it's a minority parliament. We know they don't last 4 years. It's getting that done and making sure we go beyond words and actually finish this thing.
As always, I think there's still plenty of room to grow, plenty of room for improvement. We've yet to see a trans, non-binary or gender non-conforming person elected in Canada.
Erica Lenti, senior editor at Extra magazine, says this year's class of MPs shows Canada is moving to a point where a candidate's sexual orientation doesn't matter. But Lenti believes Canada is still learning to accept trans, non-binary and gender non-conforming people.
I think it speaks volumes that none of the folks who are elected in this past election are trans, non-binary or gender non-conforming. There were plenty of folks who were running, but not in viable seats.
In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, CityNews.